Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 198 of Dissonant Waves.
Damn.
We're getting closer and closer to 200. I'm Domino. Ritz and Trix are here.
And for the 200th episode spectacular, we promise it will be special. I will do a nudie run for 10 kilometers.
All of our cats
Live
will make
stream
noise.
On
I
Twitch.
will sit naked on my fire escape and smoke my bong.
Being naked was my idea.
I was already gonna make a joke about being naked and smoking my bong on my fire escape.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably a better idea anyway.
If it's this hot for much longer, we'll all be naked at a certain point.
How hot do you think it is down here at the moment?
You're in
Me doing a
winter,
nudie
so...
run, yeah. Me doing a nudie run is not a good idea.
No.
I mean, probably going to warm up a bit again because we've had a bit more colder than it's supposed to be, but I'll tell you, I'm not going to have anything on display.
For us, it's, like
griffining it.
90-something to 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
I don't know how much that is Celsius, but it gets pretty cold for Australia. It's gone down to the single digits in Celsius.
So 95 is 35 Celsius.
Yeah, we've had days like that. Not great. I feel
tomorrow. I am going to be crammed in a corner in front of a hot flat top.
And you're already recovering from the oven you were next to.
Yes, so there's a good chance I might die tomorrow.
Oh shit, this is a music podcast.
Well, hopefully you don't die, but if you do, we have this discussion to have first.
Yes.
We picked a bunch of stuff. Each of us picked at least one album and one EP, and then a couple other things as well. I did the Apples and Stereo's New Magnetic Wonder, and I said, hey, if you want to listen to Hot Flash Heatwave's Wildflower as well, you can, but we are doing their Mood Ring EP. Trix did Petite League, their new stuff, Dead Star City Tours, their single Bad Words, and the Suburban Speed Demons EP, which is still fucked up on Bandcamp, which is surprising to me. We should have asked about that.
Yes.
Ritz then did 12 Point Bucks Loud Music for Quiet People and Family Trust, an EP by Valve. Not that Valve, a different Valve.
Nah. Well, Trix, before you die of heat stroke, what are we going to start with?
Why don't we talk about the Valve EP?
Cool. Valve Family Trust. So, I saw this band during the season 3 final shows. That's kind of my introduction to finally listening to them. I knew the name around Steam and other posters and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That show was kind of funny for the opening act and that, where Valve had to step in on the day. Originally, it was going to be Naki Soul, and then the certain incident happened, and then it wasn't unsure. We were unsure if it was going to be Naki Soul for quite a bit, and then it was Naki Soul, and then she got sick anyway, and couldn't do it. So
here we are.
That's all the context I have for this, and obviously I enjoyed them enough. I wanted to pick their EP.
They've been around since 2013. That's wild. Oh no, that's Team Glasses. Never mind. That's I'm looking on the Bandcamp.
I was gonna say, like, I don't think they have.
No, this is their first EP. I'm pretty sure, actually.
Yeah.
I'm just
Team Glasses done quite a lot in the scene for the hardcore and emo and adjacent over the years. So that's why their Bandcamp is so long.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is their introduction. Like, I'm pretty sure Silent Witness was their first single.
Yes, I knew that because I looked it up earlier, and then I still said the wrong thing because I'm an idiot.
That's the whole point, and laugh at Domino.
Yeah. But I am so fucking just delirious from the heat that I kind of believed him.
I feel like
that's about as much context as I had for this. So
I feel like this EP is good to listen to when you're delirious because it just sounds like stuff in a way. Like it's just like slow enough and just mellow enough in some ways, and not in other ways.
In both a good and bad way. I can't see this EP as like a collection of songs. I don't think it has a very much a whole like. Once you've kind of listened to... I mean, it mostly kicks in at Silent Witness. Helicopters Over Beanley is mostly just the intro. But, once it really kicks in, the remaining 4 songs kind of all have very similar structures and similar sounds going on with them. In a way in which I feel like if you just put this on, you could probably think it's one long song. Now, it's not quite got that flow, don't get me wrong about it. But that's what I kind of mean with how it's going with its a term I call consistency to a fault.
Yeah.
With a debut EP like that, I kind of put that aside a little bit into, I don't put it aside when it comes to overall rankings or everything like that. But when it comes into just acknowledging quality, I put that aside. Okay.
Yeah,
you gotta put something out there and not like that. And what the sound they got going on here and the production that is going on here is pretty swell.
Mm-hmm. I like the Ringer found his dose. I just kept thinking of Ringo Starr for some reason. So my head is just a Ringo Starr drug trip phenomenon.
What if the Beatles were an emo band?
What if the Beatles were an emo band? How many YouTube videos are out there trying to show that?
I mean, I think
Probably
the thing I appreciate
more than we're comfortable with.
The thing I guess I appreciate what stands out for this, I guess for this band, I'm going to more judge it as a band because they're technically doing their whole discography. It is, this is a screamo band, but it is somehow probably like the clearest vocals in just production I've heard for a while. Whether or not you can still understand what the lyrics are, just as an actual mixing for the vocals on here, it feels so very like clean. Like whoever's done the production on this album has done a really fucking fantastic job. Again, that might even be to a fault for what is an emo album.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like this band could have like a side gig as like a doom metal band. Like I feel like they have like the kind of vibe that could go that way.
The Metal Night was the first night of season 3. Sorry, Dominic. This was night number 2. This was the emo night. Sorry. It was the day off.
I'm just saying they have plenty of options. This sound could evolve in many ways.
Yeah.
Look, it's got all the things that tick my checklist off. It's got contrast in its sound. It's fucks when it's on. Like even if I'm not completely blown away, say like in a Raccoon City, I think that's the standard for, or the gold standard, sorry, for emo this year.
Yeah.
At least for what we've covered, so far. Especially in this, especially in this kind of scene and sound and blah blah blah. Blah.
Yeah.
Onto that, and no disrespect to Valve, it doesn't come close. But
nothing.
That is just
nothing Valve has done here is going to be on the level of anything on that album, and that's not a bad thing. That's just Raccoon City's in a very different place.
Yeah.
And I feel like that also had a lot of more, not just variance, but maturity in its kind of the structures and just in the way that everything kind of worked on it. Whilst, this feels like, okay, this is a band that's getting this out. And honestly, any song on here could kind of just be doing what it's like, saying what it actually is saying in the lyrically, because it still hasn't really like got enough interest that I've gone in to check all the lyrics or anything on this, and that's a fault of mine. I can't really judge on anything that I haven't looked into. Onto it, I'm mostly going to confuse every song. For another on this, and that's really its biggest downfall. It's still a great listen for 18 minutes, and great is, I guess, depending on your definition of great, but everybody's definition of great should at least have the word good in it.
Yes.
It's good stuff, but it's not developed in a way that's like, oh man, all these songs are different.
It's more just, figuring out the words in here and that.
It's the concepts of a plan of, hey, this is kind of what we want this to sound like.
Yeah, that's better than what I was going to say, which is it's just a showcase of their sound.
Yeah.
Not really anything else. But that's fine. This is a debut EP. It's a good sound. I think we have full right to call Blender on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is fine for what it is.
Trix, if you have any other words about this, I know you're a bit delirious today.
I have no real other words. I did not retain any of this album.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't think it goes as bad as this is like not retainable, because I definitely come out of this remembering how certain things sound.
I'd say
I guess just in the context I listened to it, I couldn't retain it.
sure.
Oh, that's in the kitchen.
Yes,
Is this kitchen music? I didn't think it was.
not really.
Outside of the kitchen, it's I know what it what it sounds like generally, but I couldn't tell you track for track everything right now.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I can't tell about it, but yeah, I think that's about it. Good screamo release. Like it's one of those to look out for because I feel like this is a band that when they fully kind of like they've got a sound now. It's like now they just need to actually have more ideas to go with to utilize that sound.
Yeah,
and that's when it's gonna like really get going. And their live show, it fucked listening to it for 20 minutes, so I can already say it's worth a band worth seeing.
Get ready for the second EP and maybe a couple singles.
Yeah, that's about right.
All right, well that's
a Valve joke there.
Yeah, that's Valve's Family Trust.
Dominic, I get it.
Yeah.
Dominic, what are we going on to next?
Well,
we don't need to worry about favorites or least favorites.
Another band talked about Trust this week. We can flop on over to Hot Flash Heatwave.
All right.
Their Mood Ring EP, which, again, I picked because I associated Apples in Stereo and Hot Flash Heatwave in mind from the very beginning of the show, basically. Just me being a weirdo. But I think this is worth a listen. I think this is worth doing.
Yeah.
Just to go back to an earlier point that Trix has made, I just listened to this EP and I haven't retained it.
Oh, I mean, I retained a little bit more of it. They did an Ocarina of Time soundboard thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to compare it to the other Hot Flash that we've done. Obviously, Hot Flash Heatwave, one of the first albums that we ever covered on this. Trix
episode 1
brought it up. Yeah, episode 1. With a title that already escapes me on there, but I know it had songs like
Neapolitan,
Malibu on there. Yeah, Neapolitan. Thank you. Had songs like Malibu, which kind of still sticks in my head, and so had that little bit of catchiness that kind of worked. It had some other fucking songs, so it's just the titles escape me, but I can kind of remember the fucking ways that they go. I've lost the titles, so apologies to anyone who was thinking of that. The last one as well, which I think I can't remember what the song title was. For some reason, I'm thinking it was called Vampire.
That's the latest.
Yeah, which is the latest one I know. That's the other one I was thinking of. Was that the one that had the guitar solo in the middle?
Yeah,
which is another moment that I can actually remember up there. And then just a lot of the rest of Hot Flash Heatwave's discography that is even in part of those two albums. Yeah, just it's escaped me, and part of that is the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
We do them every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But this one I just didn't retain at all. I don't know. This unlike Family Trust, which went quite quickly for me, because at least once it had that struggle to change up or differentiate itself, it still was the sound that was getting me engaged the whole time. Whilst on this, this was a slog, and it was pretty short.
I don't agree. I think this was a smooth, like, I don't know what you'd call it, not Muzak necessarily, but just kind of like a smoother, like, just kind of chilled out, like, little break they have going on. Like, it's not Neapolitan. You can definitely see how the sound has evolved into their last album in a way.
Yeah.
Like, Vampires would not be on this at all, but it kind of has some of those smoother notes. It's just something that, like, I don't know, it's good, kickback music.
Yeah. Like this is the kind of music, like, for a long time I would use their last album, whatever the hell it was called, as
sportswear.
Like smoke music. Yeah, sportswear. That is such a weird name for an album. I can't. That's why I can't remember it. But yeah, I would always use that as like a smoke album. Like if I'm gonna like sit down and smoke for a minute, I'd put it on.
Yeah.
And like this EP is that same kind of genre.
It has kind of like a noir vibe going on. Grapes has like a quote, like a sample from like a movie that sounds like a noir movie of some sort. And you got a lot of quotes like, when there's a guy, or when there's cops beating up on some guy, I'll be there. Just like kind of just stuff like that echoing throughout the thing. And that's just kind of stuck between something like Glow Ride, which is just kind of just chilled out guitar vibes. It doesn't feel like it wants to necessarily go anywhere. It just is doing its thing.
Yeah.
And I would say, I guess, I remember doing Neapolitan, and that felt more garagey. That felt more, yeah, this is a band that's discovering their sound and doing some of the garage stuff and having kind of their chill vibe, but it's early, and then we have this, and then we have sportswear, and the evolution is there. I'm actually very surprised.
Me too.
I'll just
Hot
get
Flash
to disagree.
is shown to be a band with depth.
Yeah.
I can agree that they've definitely got depth to their sound. I wouldn't confuse this with Neapolitan, but I think I come into a realization with Hot Flash Heatwave that their sound itself, or when they do these sounds, that hasn't ever been enough to kind of draw me in. It's more so been like they've had to. Usually it's the other way around. Usually a band's songwriting isn't good enough to draw me in, but the sound is. But in this case, it's kind of like the other way around, where it's usually like I feel like it's the ability to write a hook or something like that is usually what's caught me with Hot Flash Heatwave, and with the absence of that ability on this EP, I find myself just not really caring about it.
I can't necessarily fault you there. I liked it.
I can't either.
Interestingly, looking through their albums and such, Neapolitan has like the biggest draws. Like Gutter Girl has like 40 million listens, so it's doing some work for them. Hesitation has a good amount of listens, but this this EP has the most consistency in that like most of the tracks are like multi-million listens.
Good for them.
Where everything else is kind of like mixed. Some are a million, some are not. So whatever reason, this one seems to have caught on the most consistently.
It looks like, what also kind of helps is that 4 of these songs, I think, was it 4 or 3? Not only 3, sorry, were singles.
I mean, yeah, that sure, yeah, that kind of plays into
and
it
it
too.
looks like it was spaced out throughout a lot of time. Actually, it was March 1st, 2018 is Glow Ride, according to Spotify, and this came out February 15th, 2019. I mean, a year in between first single to release of an EP is quite a long time.
And yeah.
Especially for a band of Hot Flash Heatwave. I know it doesn't really matter like the size of a band and their popularity for releases all the time. Although with some bigger artists, you do get a fucking album a year, regardless.
I mean, they're a band that has like 117,000 followers and 214,000 monthly listens. They have gained some attention.
Yes.
So I mean, if they're willing to just kind of ride on like, let's do some singles and put some stuff out, and it's been 3 years pretty much since Sportswear. They've put out a couple singles since then, but again, they're kind of just riding it out. If it works, it works.
Yeah.
They have a new single out this year.
Yeah, that'll probably be episode 200, and actually going by that rate, it might be episode 301.
I like a couple songs in this. I like Low Ride. I like Head in the Clouds. My least favorite, probably Grapes.
I do the controversial blender call again. I revert my valve to a cheese sandwich, and this to a blender.
I am pulling up the track list as we speak.
Alright, so for anybody who doesn't have the context between blender and cheese sandwich, too bad.
We could explain it.
Yeah, we could, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really helpful.
Okay, so something funny I noticed, Domino,
Yeah.
is that on YouTube Music, every song has Floating has 23K, Head in the Clouds 40K, Glow Ride 161K, Grapes 51,
Yeah.
Sky So Blue, no, like 51, not 51K.
Yeah.
Oh.
51. And Sky So Blue has 337K. And then Trust has 3.1K. So it is all over the place.
So only 51 times has that album been played through on YouTube Music.
Yes, I was number 51, I'm sure.
That's wild.
I'm sure it's probably just because like they re-uploaded the song recently on their servers or whatever.
Oh, maybe.
But it's kind of funny.
All right, so Trix, did you say your favorites, least favorites?
Oh, I did not. Favorites are Glow Ride and no real least favorite.
According to Spotify numbers, this band, again, 214,000 listens a month. Petite League's only doing 129,000 comparatively. So let's talk about Petite League, because we usually have more to say.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
Trix.
Let's talk about Suburban Speed Demon and Bad Words. As you know,
wild time, wasn't it?
yes.
Yes, the Suburban Speed Demons arc was interesting.
Yes.
For those who... Go ahead.
I was gonna. You go ahead. I'll have my take after.
For those who are unaware of the arc of Suburban Speed Demons, it was Petite League's endeavor to do one song a month and then make it an EP at the end, starting in I think August or July of 2023.
Yeah.
And we got them for July, August, September, October, I think. Or no, maybe it was August, because it was August, September, October, November. And we didn't get a fifth one.
I'll find her out right now.
We didn't get a fifth one. One of them's a cover.
Yep. August 25th.
Yeah.
September 22.
Yeah.
October 27, because I'm tight. And November 29th. In which, it seemed like we would go to December, we would get it, and then there would probably be, either it would end in December or one afterwards. And then Lorenzo just kind of didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the framing was like these are kind of like B-sides and such, just kind of like a way to get some more music out that they've had in the vault.
Yeah.
And then for some reason things got a little weird on like distribution, and that like if you go to like the Bandcamp, it's not really collected very well. Like on Spotify, you can get all 4 tracks. One of them is a replacements cover, "Bastards of Young." That's just included there. But if you go to Petite League on Bandcamp, "Bastards of Young" is by itself, and "Sugar Hotel" is what it is called, and it's only "Sugar Hotel" and "East River Swimmer." And it still says on the Bandcamp, 1 song a month from August to December.
Yep.
So Suburban Speed Demons is not on Bandcamp.
And then a couple months later, we got Bad Words. It was just kind of dropped.
Maybe that was the final one. Who knows?
Who knows? It sounds completely different from both the album and the other 4 songs, so maybe not.
Yeah.
And that is the wild kind of release of all of it. No, Bad Words is the best out of all 5.
Yeah.
And
then the second best is the Bastards of Young cover. I have top 100 documentation of these takes.
The reason it's interesting to bring up is that otherwise Petite League has been very systematic and like precise about releasing stuff.
Yeah.
So and like this is kind of a weird outlier in that. So it was interesting to follow at the time, and we never did the EP. I think because we weren't sure if it was done or like what was up.
Yeah.
But it's on Spotify.
I don't remember exactly.
I don't think so. So I don't think Suburban Speed Demons deserves what the weird credit's getting.
It's not really an EP either. It's still kind of just a single is the thing, because it's released, like, especially if you go into the Spotify ways. Every next single has all the remaining songs, all the previous singles. As kind of B-sides to all of it. Bastards of Young has Sugar Hotel and East River Swimmer on it as well. Sugar Hotel has East River Swimmer. East River Swimmer has obviously nothing because it was the first, and then Suburban Speed Demons has all 4. I don't really classify this as an EP still. Because I don't think it is, but it kind of is.
But that was the intention, was to make it one. So wouldn't the intention count?
Yeah, well, I mean, I couldn't intend to paint something as good as the Mona Lisa. It doesn't mean I've made something as good as the Mona Lisa. But I guess if you said if I intended to do a painting and I half finished that painting, I guess it is still a painting. So the answer is yes and no.
I wouldn't say it's half finished though, because he mostly set out and did what he said. It's just there was just one song missing, and then it never quite came together fully.
Well, it depends what the definition of half finished is, I guess, as well. There,
like, it's not literally half finished. It's like 85% there.
No. I wasn't meaning it literally, but the whole point still stands of, is this finished, is this not finished? It's in a very grey area, and therefore, if it's finished or not, doesn't count. Well, the answer, I guess, is that it was chosen as an EP by Trix, so we're treating it as an EP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get to choose whether or not it's an album or an EP or a single. Trix does.
Yes.
And this came after the covers thingy, wasn't it? Like, it was like the same year that he did the $30 for a cover or whatever it was.
No, $30 for a cover would have been when we the first interviewed, which would have been Thrill Seekers here.
Okay, 2022.
Yeah, this would have been way after.
Interesting. But yeah, the songs themselves, I think, are, like, you know, it's cool to have the documentation of these songs existing. The Bastards of Young cover is pretty good. And again, that's kind of why I was like, hey, I think doing Easy by Troye Sivan would be a really good fit for them, because I could see them blissing it out kind of in the same way as Bastards of Young.
And I said, when these singles were coming out, that each single was miles better than the last single. And that was true until Suburban Speed Demons, which I can give or take. Honestly, East River Swimmer, I think is just a very mediocre song. Now, these are on B-sides and stuff like that. I'm going to soon. So, I can kind of see why it was on the cutting room floor. Although, it is the most popular out of all these singles, so I guess everybody else. And I've seen other people have much kind of takes towards it. I've always thought it's like not really been a good Petite League song.
It's a different kind of song for them.
Yeah, it feels like a Floating Blue, but Floating Blue's done better.
Yeah,
like he doesn't normally
compare that to Sugar Hotel, which I feel like is it's one of the more faster tracks, but I still feel like that's a better showcase of what they can be. East River Swimmer was.
I really like Sugar Hotel.
I like Sugar Hotel fine. I think Suburban Speed Demons is fun. I like that one. It's the one that you know was cut from Thrill Seekers because it has Thrill Seekers in the song.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who can criticize that?
Who can?
But yeah, the Bastards of Young cover is the one. I mean, it probably has the best production out of all of them as well. It sounds the cleanest out of all of it, which is also wild because the original Replacement song is pretty rough.
Yeah.
In a good punky way. But it's a really good cover, and it stands out on its own whilst still being faithful enough to the original to actually be a cover.
Yeah.
So, it's a good standard of a cover. That being said, yeah, Bad Words is better than all these.
It's a different song for them. Like, Bad Words kind of transcends being a Petite League song and just sounds like Lorenzo just doing like a singer-songwriter thing.
Yeah.
But you compare it to the rest, and why I think Bad Words is the best is that I think Lorenzo really nailed writing a hook on that one.
Yeah.
He did.
And, I mean, that's probably why it got released as a single. It was probably by itself, and also, hey, the hook is pretty good.
It's
a
definition of an earworm, I don't think it's not one of those songs which you go around and say, this is the greatest song of the year. It's not even the best Petite League song
that we're talking about this week.
Yeah,
no,
probably not even, yeah. That being said, but it is still the case of, it's one of those songs that can quite easily get stuck in your head and quite casually. And you kind of just like realize after a while just how many times you've kind of like replayed it in your head unintentionally. It's a really good written kind of near say pop song that it is more of a rock song. Not that it's really a pop song, but it's got that kind of songwriting going on it.
That, and he's definitely gotten more introspective that he's gotten older.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, something like this kind of fits better with like some of the stuff on like Suburban Speed Demons about like thinking about marriage and settling down with a gremlin in a stroller and all that.
Yeah.
Kind of approaching it still in like a kiddish way, like a kidding way, but I don't know. There's something about the writing style that has changed over time.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I have to say about these. It's an interesting time period.
Yes.
It wasn't even that long ago.
No. One of the many interesting chapters in Petite League sound.
Favorites. I mean, the favorite of Suburban Speed Demons is Bastards of Young, and least favorite is Beast Ritz. The favorite out of all of it is Bad Words.
I'll call it a cheese sandwich.
I'll shout out Bad Words and Sugar Hotel.
And Bad Words is pretty good. I will say Ace Service always become an earworm for me. Just the beginning of I've seen Frank Ocean in plain sight. Just can't get it out of my head.
Alright, what are we doing next? Are we staying on, or we want to keep it for last?
What do you think, Trix?
I'd like to. Let's talk about it now while I have the energy.
Alright.
Dead Star City Tours.
You guys want to hear my take about this album?
You want to introduce it first before you do your take?
Sure. This is Petite League's latest album. Go watch our interview.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the latest. It's what, 3 years after Thrill Seekers?
2.
3.
Is this?
Yeah, Thrill Seekers is 2022, so it's like 2.5.
Yeah, it was like the end of 2022. That's why.
October. Yeah.
Yep, so more than 2.5.
Yeah.
It's basically 3, which is basically 4.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's your big take?
This is absolutely and by far their greatest work.
Nah. Sorry, it's still Joyrider for me.
Joyrider is pretty good, but I feel I feel like if we're talking about this is the part where we get to the point where there are now eras of Petite League. I feel that Slugger through Joyrider is definitively the Lorenzo does everything pretty much era. Thrill Seekers is kind of the transition, still kind of in the first era, but the band started to help more. And then this is the band fully working together.
Yes.
There's just a bigger sound, like synth, and like influences that are not just, what we're used to.
Yes.
I mean, I can probably quite confidently say that every album that we've listened to since Rattler has been better than.
Oh, absolutely.
I would put this kind of in a fight with Thrill Seekers for me at the moment. It's probably better than Thrill Seekers. I get time to probably do that argument with myself later down the line. The one thing that I just can't get over on this album, which is stopping me from, I guess, enjoying it a lot more, is that I finally see the complaint that others have made about Joyrider of there being just a little bit too much fucking reverb. It is fucking heavy on this album, and I think it's to its detriment. Especially
I think
Lorenzo's
the reverb
vocals.
really works for it.
I feel like it's a lot of times just masking Lorenzo's vocals. Like, not on every song, but especially in like that kind of first 2 songs. There are some really good kind of like instrumentations going around and vibes going on, and then the vocals just feel so out of place with how heavy they are in the reverb. And Lorenzo's got a great voice. I don't think it needs to be masked by that much amount of reverb.
It's interesting. It was interesting seeing them live because I saw them in concert like a week ago.
Yes.
And 2 weeks ago, actually, now. And the interesting thing was that because they were in Chicago, they had just done an audio tree earlier in the day. So Lorenzo's voice was already rather tired. And he was trying very hard to keep it going, and he was pretty successful, but there were points where it just wasn't coming together as much as it would be other times. And it's like, oh, the boyish voice is really an affectation. He really pushes very hard. Like, it's not just, like, natural singing voice at times. It is, like, very much a thing he's doing.
Yeah, I can attest to that as a classically trained vocalist.
And I wonder if the reverb maybe helps in some of the parts where it's not as, like, perfect. especially now that we're
Yeah.
like 10 years into this.
Yeah.
Like,
And like, I actually think the reverb works pretty well for All Star Weekend, track 2.
Yeah, All Star Break.
Yeah, All Star Break. I think it really like adds to. I don't know how to describe it. I just like how it acts tonally in it.
like I do wonder, like, is this going to be a part of a series of evolutions now?
I wonder.
Because, like, again, how much longer can he put on that affectation as much as he's done? How much more room is there to keep doing it?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good stuff in
Yeah.
here, and they've really like punched up the instrumentals, and I think the lyric writing has definitely also been like tuned up. Like the beginning of Rapture,
absolutely.
my love language Rosetta Stone rewritten. Like that's a great opening line.
Yes.
I'll put in my perspective though, just on the reverb truth, because this will probably be, my main take of it, the main argument that we have. And I think the best song off here probably has the least reverby vocals on it. There is obviously still some aspect of it. It is just the effect that's going on, but it's more cunningly produced in it, and it's also the best of the trilogy. Rain Dogs is better than Moon Dogs or Sun Dogs.
I don't know yet. I have to keep listening.
I don't know either.
It clears easily. Rain Dogs is the best off this album.
I really like Sun Dogs.
I did too. But I mean, it's pretty hooky. Good things happen at 4 a.m. 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I think NYCB, New York City Blues, has the Run Run Run. That's pretty good too.
Yes. Dare Me with Dare Me Now to Dare Myself. Love Letters at 4 a.m.
Damn, a lot happens at 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's when life happens.
Love Letters with No Return Address. That's what it is.
Trix, do you like this more because it's 80s influenced?
I don't think so, but it's helping.
Because that is also a rather interesting thing that I don't think we've really had happen.
It's very heavy on like inspiration from The Cure, I can tell.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know in our history that we've come across a band like naturally as we've listened come into an 80s influence like this.
Yeah.
Usually it's already there, or it's like just something we're stumbling into because we're just doing like the third album of like a discography, and oh yeah, it's 80s influenced.
Yeah.
But this is like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 albums in, and all of a sudden it's like super Cure soaked.
Yes. And I'm not complaining at all.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's an interesting change. Again, kind of like the influences that we're seeing here that weren't there before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that we've gone a long way. I mean, Petite League, episode like 15 or something?
6 was Rattler.
6
is Rattler. It's been that long. I was like, surely it took a bit until we got there, but no. So they're basically bidding in for the long run here, whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
Yes.
And from that, and my takes are on recording, in which I do not really care for the first couple Petite League albums, outside of a couple songs, and I kind of still hold true to that. I think Slug is one that's got a couple good songs off it. Obviously, it's got their biggest song and Not Always Happy on it.
Which the girlies were moshing for when I was there.
Good on them.
Yeah.
Good on them. And going on, we've heard, I mean, Slugger, you can't really say going into No Hitter too much of an evolution. That wasn't just better production. And then obviously I didn't really care too much for Rips One Into the Night, wasn't it? That's what it was called, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was formerly my favorite.
Yeah. So controversial take, and Rattler is an album which I've come to appreciate a bit more, but I'm still not, that much a big of a fan of. And then obviously I'm taking a big shift in quality then, and so have they. They are genuinely a better band since Joe Butter came out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's cool.
Yes.
And it's cool to see that, we can go and listen to an album like this that sounds so incredibly different from their debut, but we don't feel that shocked by it, because it does feel like a natural evolution getting to the sound. I don't think, personally, it was executed as perfectly as it could have been, but I don't think that's also in the case of the songwriting. I think that's more just, the production on here is what more or less down.
I don't know what a perfect like take on it would be though, because it still has the touch of like kind of the auteurist, like Lorenzo is still kind of in charge of everything, but there's a lot more influences now.
Yes.
I mean, for what's the perfect take on it? It's kind of like that description of pornography. You know, it's hard to explain, but you know it when you see it.
Yeah.
Do you think any of the other recent songs are like do it better in some ways, or is this all better than anything from Suburban Speed Demons and Bad Words and all that stuff?
Well, I'd more compare it to Bad Words when it comes to what was a good production on there and what had a bit of a. I guess that wasn't really a synthy take, but it had that, you know, more kind of poppy, kind of casual sound going on, which there is that kind of vibe going in on this, even if it is a different pace going on with it. And yeah, it does get a bit debatable in my head if that kind of production would have worked better for this album. I guess I can't really say so without, or one, listening to it, but two, like, know exactly how it would go. I don't know. I can only judge with what I've listened to, and what I've listened to is still a great album. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's something in which the flaws just in those in the production choices and whether it be the mixing or the heavy reverb on some sounds and stuff, just get me out of it at times and make it just that a bit. I wouldn't say unenjoyable or anything like that, because it's still the songwriting's still strong enough on this to carry it. Which, you know, go back to the whole Flash Sheet Wave mentioned. Yeah, struggling to find the exact site in words, but I'm hoping everybody who knows what I mean. Everybody, please make your own judgments for me. It makes my job.
Now, how do you feel about a Colt 45 in the dark singing "How Love Will Tear Us Apart"?
Lampshading it, drinking a 40 and loudly singing Joy Division.
That's the Joy Division.
I don't think he's drinking a 40. He has a gun.
No, there's I interpret it as the 40 ounce of malt liquor.
A Colt 45?
Yeah, there's a type of malt liquor called Colt 45. Billy D. Williams fucking advertised it.
Right.
Hold
Got
and like
40 ounce of freedom.
Okay, so there is a Colt 45 beer. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it now. Interesting.
Yes.
I don't know guns. Is there a Colt 45 gun?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a pistol.
Oh, there you go.
It's like the one with the revolver sometimes. Like the thing you spin.
Yes.
Yeah, again, I don't know guns.
You ever see
I wonder why.
Have you played Red Dead Redemption?
No, I was just shit-talking you Americans.
Fair enough.
No.
You both said fair enough in sync. Yeah, both were just you're both so fed up with everything right now. Like, yeah, that's it.
Critiquing the country that deserves the critiques the most, who would believe it?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's another country that's also bombing the shit out of everyone at the moment.
That's fair too.
Mm-hmm.
It's always debatable to say which country deserves criticism the most. There will always be a country that will find a reason to claim that title.
Yep.
I'm happy to move on to favorites, least favorites in this.
Favorites whole album.
Okay.
Alright. Favorites for me. Rain Dogs. As much as the same, Reverb does get off. I do want to shout out Rapture and All Star Break. They do have some really good songwriting on there. Least favorites probably something like The Riot or Sharp Turn.
I like NYCBs, Sharp Turns, Rain Dogs. Junkyard Dreams having like a country twang in it was really interesting. That's some new territory, I feel like.
Yeah.
Ghost is pretty good. My least favorite's All Star Break.
I would also like to particularly highlight like my favorite of them all, for real, and that is Dare Me.
I have to look here.
It's the seventh song.
No. Which one's the one? Didn't Lorenzo do a Ghost 1997? Who did that? where it was like singing
That-
as a kid.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
it's
end
on
of
into
Ritz
night.
One into the Night. Ghost 1997.
Oh, 1998. Ghost 1988.
No, 97. I'm pretty sure.
I'm on the Bandcamp. It says 98. I thought it was 97, but
Oh, okay.
It's actually 94.
94.
You all got it wrong, especially Lorenzo.
I'm
I have
curious.
the vinyl over here.
Check the
You can
vinyl.
see if we got Mandela affected. We dig up this.
We got the Mendoza effect.
I just think it's interesting that there's Ghost 1988 and then Ghosts as a song. I wonder if it's just a coincidence.
I'm going to actually change the name of the Mandela effect to the Mango effect. So people go, didn't it used to be called that? I'm like, nah, there's always been the Mango effect. If we get enough people doing it, it'll catch up. You two are a start. I think we only need about 25,000 more people to start saying it like that, and it should catch on.
Perfect.
Trix, have you been Mango affected?
I'm looking for the vinyl still.
When the universe leaves behind the fucking vinyl, and that's proof for the Mandela effect.
Well, the math on the lyrics for Ghost 1988, he's 3 years old in the child footage, and then he's 23 covering the song. And this was a 2017 release, so you'd think it'd be 20 years before, 1997. However, it does say 1998.
Whenever his birthday is. Happy birthday,
It's
Lorenzo.
1998.
Okay, it was always 1998 then. We're just stupid.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, what are we covering next?
Let's talk about 12 Point Buck.
Alright, 12 Point Buck. Continuing on with artists that I saw live, so that's why I'm covering them. This band opened for garage sale. And it's also in that case of another band was supposed to open. Because it was 100% supposed to be Freight opening. Because a leaked poster came out. And by a leaked poster, I mean someone posted the wrong poster when they were saying, here's 12 Point Buck. And it said, with Freight playing.
Oops.
Whoopsie doodle.
Oopsies.
What happened with Freight? One of them has just moved away temporarily. They'll be back. They're just on a bit of hiatus. But obviously, when you're on a hiatus, you don't really play shows.
Insert the I'm Sorry breakdown from their album.
Yeah. Anyway, so 12 Point Buck opened, and they've been around for a while, actually. Unlike when we were thinking how long Valve was around for. No, 12 Point Buck has been around for about 10 years.
Yeah, 2016 was Fuzz.
Yep. And despite being around for a while with not much popularity, they still draw a crowd.
Good for them.
Yeah,
Good
I mean,
for them.
it seemed like, everyone stayed for garage sale, which is great, but it seemed like a lot of the crowd came for 12 Point Buck.
They have 81,000 listeners. Mostly Australia,
Alright.
and then LA and Denver are also there.
Probably mostly Sydney, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sydney, and then a few hundred is Melbourne.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And then about 1,000 less is Brisbane.
It's also worth noting that the drummer for this band, I forget her name because I never learnt it. She drums in a shit ton of bands, so you probably would have seen her around. I've seen her in one of my favorite hardcore sets of last year was a band called Sacred. No, it wasn't last year. It was in the last year, in which the band did not have their singer. So instead of calling it off, they just put up a mic and said, "This is open mic. Anyone can scream."
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Be creative.
Yeah.
But this album is definitely interesting. It does the thing I've always been curious about and takes the leave a voicemail thing to like the logical extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of like interlude samples, whether they be a voicemail or some other kind of message that happens in there. There's a couple in there. It's like I can't remember all the voicemails off of my head, but I said it's like once that it would be just from friends or from like their dad or something like that, and it goes like it's talking about like something serious and then ends up with like a joke at the end. Voicemail. There's like
There's like the one from like the doctor being like, "Hey, we can see you early."
yeah.
Mhm.
And then someone's like, yeah, I missed your message because I was away for a holiday, so I just got back. So call me back when you get a chance. But if you're pissed off at me for missing your message, that's understandable, kind of.
Yeah. If you still want to hear about me in Tasmania, you can call me back. But
I don't even think it's a voicemail. I think it's just a quote they found. The getting cheese is a better gift than flowers because cheese doesn't go off. You just cut the bad parts off.
I quite like the rambling about strawberries bit.
And sound-wise, this is not a consistent album sound-wise. In a sense, it has a couple things going on with a different kind of, I guess we'll call them skits in parts. But I mean, personally for me, this album doesn't even start at the start of this album. It feels like that was just extra part loaded off, and then Daylight feels like the actual opener.
Yeah, in some ways. Alien Space Fuckers definitely takes some of the limelight away, too, from the opening.
Yeah.
And then the last track is basically just a bunch of shoutouts. It's a pretty short thing when you actually get into the music aspect of this. So I guess the question dies, is the music aspect of this good? Yeah.
I like it. It's weird. It's interesting.
It has this is quite a lo-fi kind of sound that they have going on here. But it mixes from having very kind of casual lo-fi going into it to some pretty what's a way of describing it with the fuzz? Like,
there's like some electronic production going on.
I'm gonna call it girthy. I think that's the way I'm gonna describe it. Like the breakdowns in Daylight is probably the best example. That's why I think it's a better opener for this. I think it starts off and has that kind of weird vocal thing that's going on. I mean, this is riddled with reverb as well, but I feel like in this case it works a lot better for what the sound is doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
And like between tracks 1, I think is the one where it gets super electronic and just like becomes something else for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was like, oh, that's really cool. They're just kind of trying shit. And I think I much prefer like there's enough thematic stuff in here that like it feels like an album, but it also feels very loose, and I really appreciate that. Because like when you have artists that are very particular and very precise about what their albums are going to be, and each song supports it, and yada yada yada, that is great. But there are also many ways to make an album. So this, I feel
realistically, the only way to make an album is to put a bunch of music onto a recording and then there.
But it doesn't feel like a collection of songs either.
No, I wouldn't call it that. I don't think it has the consistency for me to say like this is an album in the same way as I would something like Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. But I don't think it has the that kind of flow to say that this is a compilation album.
Well, to say it's like Pink Floyd, that's a bit presumptuous. I feel like not many people can do that.
No, but I'm talking more so the flow of that album than I am the actual album.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like when it's like that level, there's like a perfect flow and everything. This is more weird and artistic and like out there. Like shit doesn't go together, but kind of intentionally so.
So whilst there is a obvious main vocalist on this, I do appreciate when we get the songs of the other vocalist getting to take the main stage because not only is she good, it is a completely different kind of vocals going on in there.
Yeah,
is great. I always find I call this the Blink-182 effect is what I'm going to call this because they have two periods which were in kind of weird timelines because one of them exists in between it all, which is the Mark Hoppus and Tom DeLonge and the Mark Hoppus and Matt Skiba, in which I always say that, especially with Enema of the State, I feel like that is an album in which the two vocalists work with each other that you can tell are quite different sounds going on with their vocals. Whilst California, I didn't even realize for 3 years that there was two different vocalists on it. Yeah, I didn't realize Matt Skiba sang on it because he sounded so much like Mark Hoppus. It was insane.
I feel like that's a common criticism of what they did, or a common compliment, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
So I always feel like if you're a band that has different vocalists, especially if a different vocalist takes main control of a song, there has to be a fucking reason that they've taken main control of that song. And tell you what Matters is one of the best songs off this album. So
What Matters is pretty good.
It passes the vibe check.
Yeah, it does.
I like Rules of the Youth as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a less lyrical song, I guess. It's more of like a vibe. But I believe she's like the main singer on that as well, for what there is singing wise.
Interesting.
I mean, this is, in a sense, yes, this is a good vibe to listen to start to finish, and I don't think it's a perfect good vibe, but it doesn't overstay its welcome, which is great. It
Yeah.
feels refreshing in their sound, and it's weird in mostly a good way.
Yeah.
Like there's a heaviness to songs like Daylight that it's like, oh, they're like grungy. They're like doing shit.
Yeah.
There's some girthy bass in there.
Girth. What a word. Girth is such a good word. Holy shit.
Girth is a vibe and a concept describes what girth is.
I guess my real complaint about this as an album is that I do think it is mostly front loaded, and then yeah, the rest is still fine, but it's like when I'm going to come back to this, it's like all my kind of highlights happen at the start.
Oh, for me, the biggest highlight was Yeah Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like the one. If I had to pick one, like
That's the Dissonant Waves.
That one's super catchy.
Oh yes.
Trix, you got anything to say about this album?
Not really.
Game.
I'm actively trying not to fall asleep. I've reached that part of the episode.
That's alright. Well, we'll get on to the last album and wrap this up. Favorites to me, Daylight is definitely my favorite, with What Matters as well. Those two are they're like the peak. Least favorite is probably something like it's probably actually the opener. I can't think of anything.
I agree on the opener being the least favorite. I like Coming Home Soon, Yeah Right. Between tracks 1, Alien Space Fuckers Again. Yeah. And I like the little joke of ZZZ last track.
Yeah. I'm gonna call Blender because I can't form thoughts right now.
You're forming enough thoughts to make a sentence.
I'm running entirely on
Don't.
autopilot.
Do not make her say more sentences.
Anyway, that leaves us with our last album, the Apples in Stereo New Magnetic Wonder, in which the question is, hey, did you know that the producer of In the Aeroplane Over the Sea had his own band and was part of Elephant Six as well? Well, here is his band.
And the world is made of energy. Now, would you like to go spend $20 a month on electricity? No? That's right. We've got an offer of $8.
He's really...
And the world is full of energy. Get these ads out of my head. Get these ads out of my head. Get these ads out of my head.
Robert Schneider is really into mathematics and devised his own like music number theory, which he also goes into on the album.
Yes.
There's a lot happening. Like, we talk about kind of Loud Music for Quiet People being a lot of like skits and interludes and things. This has like the same kind of thing going on.
Yes.
There are songs, but then there are also plenty of just like 13 second, 15 second, 41 second things.
Yes. Interludes, intros, whatever.
Yeah. This was a huge album for me in college, and it still kind of holds up. I think, at least.
Look, I don't think this goes down as the Elephant Six album, although that is kind of claimed. But yeah, no, this does hold up. This is a good kind of psychedelic folk rock album, whatever you want to call it. I think its biggest issue is the same with a lot of albums that kind of go for this vibe, is that it kind of just gets a bit into itself in such a way that I think it kind of it kind of drags a bit, especially towards the end.
Would you say it's the same old drag?
Man, that's one of the good songs off this. I don't want to insult it by saying that.
It is one of the really good songs. The song "Play Tough" was the one that reminds me of "Wildflower" from Hot Flash Heatwave, and I think that's also a pretty good one. I think.
Yeah, I just found by the end of this though, it's like this album had eventually done everything that it needed to do, but it still probably had about another 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, again, with there being like half of it being kind of like interludes and like little bits and bobs, if they cut out like a little bit of it, I think it would be fine.
I think if they got rid of a lot of these interludes and stuff like that, this would be a better album by a mile. And it's still a good album. I still rate this. Don't get me wrong.
Apparently, there was
And,
even
this
another
is my
one.
first proper introduction into going into the Apples in Stereo. Like I've got another album from them which I've been meaning to properly listen to, which I still haven't kind of done. Obviously, Energy I've heard because that's played in all the fucking Energy ads back in the day. So it's one of those songs that I think a lot of people know, but like they don't know the title of.
Yeah, released on Simeon Records, which was with Elijah Wood of all people.
Yeah.
So got some like good boost that way. And like this is the era of like when Montreal was making it big and everything. So like Elephant Six was entering like a different wave, and everyone was kind of like going beyond. Trix, are you there?
She's dying. Trix.
I guess she's asleep. Well,
she passed out on podcast. Aww. What the fuck is she doing next week?
that's a great question.
That's a great question. You're all gonna have to tune in next week to find out.
But
fuck, I don't know how to talk about apples and stereos for 20 minutes. The signs of life. Signs of life.
Hello? You there?
Aww.
How's it going? Uh.
I can speak bear too, Trix. I am bear. Growl. Alright, while she's figuring that all out. This is actually probably comparable in a way to 12 Point Buck with that kind of lo-fi fuzz that's surrounding this album sound.
Yeah, and like we know that Robert Schneider can do it, and like also like do more than that. It's also produced by Bryce Goggin, who did a bunch of people like Pavement, so again, kind of fitting.
And Elephant Six it is still a pretty important in time music collective, because the music that was coming out of it is, the amount of bands that you can think of today that have been inspired by that or taken on that sound, is countless. And there's still a bunch of other bands that I don't think we've actually gone on to do.
No, there's a ton. We're not going to go into all of them, I'm sure, but like
I don't think we've even done Olivia Tremor Control yet.
No, and we should.
And that's like one of the other big albums from that, which I have and still haven't really properly listened to.
Olivia Tremor Control is like the original band, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like all the people have been in it or around it, and there's like other weird offshoot bands like Major Organ and the Adding Machine, which is like
I've still got that fucking book I need to read.
Because Major Organ is like Kevin Barnes, Jeff Mangum, Robert Schneider, and Julian Coster together, which is really weird. But that's neither here nor there. This is the era after all of that, wherein Neutral Milk broke up, Of Montreal was doing their own thing, and then Apples in Stereo comes back, and it's Elijah Wood's there, and there's a renewed sense of purpose, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like going into this outside of Elephant Six and just talking about it, I don't really have too much else to say other than I like what it's going for. It does just drag on a bit too much, especially with all the interludes and stuff like that. But it is still a sound that, especially for its time, it still holds up quite well.
Yeah,
like I feel like if I was this old at the time that this came out and listened to it, I have the same takes that I do.
Yeah, for 2007, it definitely feels out there, but good. Like not like everything else, I guess, that happened back then.
Yeah.
What Trix is back?
I'm floating in and out.
Well, you're still alive.
What's still alive? What's the secret of the universe?
I don't know.
What are you picking for next week before you go away again?
I'm picking the 2024 Taiko album.
We'll figure out what the fuck that is later.
Yeah.
Totally.
That was no help.
We tried.
Pico album? Peiko album?
Oh, Tycho?
Okay. Yes.
Did they do a new...
Last year they did.
Infinite Health. Cool.
Yeah.
That'll be your pick. Cool. Anyway. I like looking back on Apples in Stereo because like I felt like such a weirdo in college being like, oh, I'm listening to these weird bands that no one else has heard of, and it's like,
then like half of college has probably heard of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But my hipster cred only lasts for so long.
Hell yeah.
No one else gives a shit who Robert Schneider is, except for the people that love his work.
I enjoyed it.
I would love to see the episode because apparently Energy was a song on American Idol. Like, how the fuck do you do that?
Yeah.
So what song have you chosen? And wow.
I mean, they make it sound like it's like contestants, like it's like one of their theme weeks or something like that. Which, if you go,
you got to remember that the wilder thing about that isn't that a contestant has picked Energy, because that's not how it works. How it works is that the shows force the artist into doing a song.
Well, sure,
and that's usually to boost engagement for certain songs or labels and stuff like that. So someone's gone, yeah, we need to boost engagement for the Apples in Stereo.
That's very silly.
Favorites for me is Energy and Same Old Drag. Least favorite is probably something like Beautiful Machine's not too bad. I think it's more like Radiation.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember their Powerpuff Girls song, but apparently they had one.
I wouldn't know off the top of my head.
I really like Same Old Drag. I think Play Tough is probably some of the best singing on the record. I like the ideas of like the non-Pythagorean stuff. Like, fucking around with like composition and like scales is cool. But they don't even have the second one in the album. It's like do all three. It's a bonus track apparently, but come on. So I don't know. Also, they have Crimson before Pre-Crimson. I know that would probably piss off Trix if she was more awake.
That wouldn't bother me that much.
I still think of the Flight Facilities. Why would you have the reprise before the actual song?
That was me being a pedantic music nerd.
Least favorite probably Radiation as well. Yeah. All right, that's them. We got to try to rank them. Trix, you can try, but no pressure.
Okay, let's see here. I am going to throw the Val VP at the bottom, 12-point buck, and then I'm going to go Hot Flash Heatwave, the Petite League EP, and single. I'll bundle them together. The let's see, what do I have left? Just Apples and Stereo and Petite League.
Oh yeah.
So Apples and Stereo and Petite League at the top.
You did it! Congratulations.
I'll do mine quickly.
Go ahead.
Hot Flash Heatwave. Then I'm gonna do the Petite League EP. Then I'm gonna do Valve. Then we're going to do. This is where it's hard, isn't it? I think out of all the ones that I enjoyed the most, I think it's Apples and Stereo, then it's Petite League, then it's 12-point buck. Because I really like what 12-point buck's doing. But that could really go in and out.
Yeah. Alright. I think I'll start at the bottom with Valve. Then I will throw it... I will throw it probably to the Petite League EP. Then 12-point buck. Hot Flash Heatwave. I don't know.
You're hot.
Dead Star is second, Apples and Stereo is first.
There we go. No one's happy. That's the way we love it.
But that very much could change. I don't know.
Alright, so
next is episode 199.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do we got, folks?
Well, Trix said the new Tiger album, Infinite Health.
Yes.
Dominic, I'm still kind of deciding, so
Okay. I have one last smorgasbord of EPs to go through before we get to 200. And I kind of figured this out over time of what I wanted to do. So we'll start at the beginning. I've always wanted to talk about the early days of Kalimasi, because they were originally known as The Howl, and they had an EP called 900 Feet Beneath that I listened to a bunch in college as well, and that I quite liked. And then as I was doing research on that, I was also noting when they changed from being The Howl to being Kalimasi. And so I've also uploaded a couple like singles and things to the drive, along with the original version of 900 Feet Beneath, because there are some like samples in there that are, that aren't on the streaming version, probably because they didn't clear them. The stuff I've uploaded, they have the Howl's name on there, but if you look on the Bandcamp, it says Kalimasi now, and I think that's really interesting that I can still get that still, because I bought those things back when they were still the Howl. So that's a fun little start. Then I found out that a few months ago that Grief Eater has a little side project, and that Lucas and I think Max are doing some like hardcore political like hardcore songs. They're called Nostalgia, and they have 2 EPs and a single, and altogether it's probably less than 10 minutes. This is like fucking Return Deep Heart level of like quickness. And then so that was kind of my plan for a bit there. Like this is what I'll do. And then Horse Cadaver came up. And Horse Cadaver is the new project from Cam Dickey of Raccoon Love. And I was listening to like the previews and like seeing like how it was shaping up, and it sounded pretty good and unlike anything Raccoon Love was doing. So we're gonna be picking that as well. So that's 900 Feet Beneath from The Howl. There's a couple singles. Things I Learned While Swallowing S-Words is like a little single EP thing. And then Sputter is another single. Nostalgia, The Extraction of the Stone of Madness EP. Their Murmuration EP. And their self-titled single, Nostalgia. And then the new Horse Cadaver EP, Obsession. That's all my picks.
I'm just picking some metalcore. The Callous Cowboys, I Don't Want to See You in Heaven.
All right. The Callous Cowboys, I Don't Want to See You in Heaven. Tycho's Infinite Health. The Howl's 900 Feet Beneath. Nostalgia. Horse Cadaver. I just said it a minute ago. That's what we're picking next time. Tune in then. But as for now, this has been Dissonant Waves Podcast. You can catch our stuff below. I have a Blue Sky now if you wish. DACICHOCKI, just like my Twitter. We have a site, we have a Blue Sky, we have a YouTube page. Check us out there. Ritz, you have a something account. What is it? Hello? Ritz, are you there? Huh. Very funny this happens now.
It happened at the end.
There we go. My ping went down, or went up by a lot for a minute there.
It's whatever. Episode's cold. We're done.
Yep, we're done. Catch our shit in the links below. Otherwise, have a great time, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.